part 15 of I'm Still Searching. Still searching, still searching. And this is just sort of a compendium of thoughts on reality and shall we say, asking questions about religious truth, about phenomenological truth, however you want to categorize it. It's there. Let's for a moment bring the anthropic principle into the mix. Here's what Wikipedia says about the principle, perhaps one of the most fascinating concepts out there, in my opinion. In astrophysics and cosmology, the anthropic principle is the philosophical consideration that observations of the physical universe must be compatible with conscious life that observes it. The strong anthropic principle, the SAP, is explained by Barrow and Tipler. They state that it is the case because the universe is compelled, in some sense, for conscious life to eventually emerge. The weak anthropic principle, the WAP, is similar to the one developed by Brandon Carter, which states that the universe's ostensible fine-tuning is selection bias. Douglas Adams had a lot of ideas about this concept in his book, A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Actually a book that was suggested to me by a friend who said, oh, you just would love this. That would just be like right up your alley. At face value, it would seem that this anthropic idea would bring in more ammunition for the ID-inclined. But the relativism which is inferred by it only deepens my scientific curiosity. The fact that life could have evolved in a googolplex number of combinations lights the fire of my imagination, perhaps like Douglas Adams was awestruck by the world beyond God. The world beyond God, think of that. With our limited scientific minds, we are given the chance to figure things out. Truly amazing. This morning I prepared for a meeting with my Stephen minister. I picked out about a dozen Bible verses out of about 90 on a Christian calendar that I got from Miles Kimball. The key was finding things that were meaningful to me. I picked out several that really struck me as having some meaning that was applicable to real life. Words of the Bible must not be taken literally, but highly figuratively, in my opinion. But what it means to you and how a person can actually shape the ultimate life path, that's up for interpretation. My song, Beyond Belief, to my wife Debbie, has a line about meeting in heaven. It is figurative. I don't really believe that I'm going to be glancing at Debbie at the pearly gates. It means that in the infinite time there is a chance of anything. My mind is open to the remote possibility that we may see each other again. I picked out some psalms the other day and gave my interpretation to each one, and then my Stephen minister, Tim. And I had a very spirited discussion about their meanings. This is the day which the Lord has made. We will all rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24. That's just one of the ones I picked out. Be glad about each day, each minute, for that matter on earth. This is a very special experience. Very special experience. I guess that's the best way you can put it. More special than you would ever imagine. Rejoice and enjoy the entire experience. Live each day to the fullest. That's the idea. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. Luke 2:10. Don't forget about the great potential for giving that all people have. That angels can be seen in the eyes of almost everyone in the right circumstances. Good things happen, and good does not discriminate between the lucky and the needy. We can all recognize and take solace from the angels of mercy. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. For whosoever shall lose his life for my sake in the Gospels, the same shall save it. Mark 8:35. This simply means keep the spirit alive. The old future is gone, but it is up to us to shed the old unproductive ways and develop life habits that make sense for the long run. The Christian would say to become more completed in his or her faith, to be more aligned with his or her faith. We're losing our old selves in favor of the newly evolved self, new ways to interact and to think and act. We are hopefully improving until the day we are 80, 90, or 100. C.S. Lewis said something about the new man, developing the new man out of deep reflection and then coming out of that deep reflection with something brand new. If we save our life for our own sake without integrating with a combination of our fellow human beings, then it's all worth nothing. We must be highly integrated in helping. We must learn to tap into the energy that enables us to rush ahead with life with a high level of meaning and momentum, and not wallow in self-pity when down or over-involve ourselves with our own ego when up. Share the joy with others, and your life will mean infinitely more. And walk in love, as Christ also hath loved us, and hath given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling Savior. Ephesians 5:2. To walk in love, what a beautiful thought. For truth alone without love will perish, and love without truth is naive. Truth without love will perish, and love without truth is naive. To hear infinite love and truth will propel us to great heights and help us touch the face of God. You will encounter the slings and arrows of misfortune when taking the hard road, but it will all be worth it when a higher purpose is embraced, if or when the higher purpose is embraced. Each person must choose his or her own spiritual path. We must choose our own spiritual paths, but must be highly integrated with goodness and righteousness. Have the courage to take your own brave stance. Have the courage to take your own brave stance. That is what that is saying to me. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth not, but knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. So if we understand the perspective, then it becomes easier. Have a good attitude and important life wisdom, and knowledge tends to stick. Wisdom accumulates on wisdom, and becomes infinitely more powerful, and yes, I guess you would say, closer to God. Whatever you see him or her as, or it as, where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. Proverbs 11:14. I'm not sure what this one means. Maybe Tim or Craig can help me with this one. Where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there's safety. So what that means is there's safety in the numbers of the wise, I suppose. Maybe it means we have the responsibility to choose good friends who can be great counselors in the time of need. And multiplying these number of counselors is only good. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Daniel 12:3. Sharing wisdom is as true and beautiful as the stars in the sky. Reach out with faith and it becomes the infinitely more meaningful and powerful experience. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face evermore. Psalm 105:4. Seeking out the face of goodness, that has a very spiritual meaning for me. We are continually looking for God in others. Seek the greatest truth and beauty every minute of our lives. We must all follow our own roads to spiritual truth. It is truly the road less traveled. A Christian would always believe that the power of God is always with him or her, that one is never alone. That's a very powerful feeling. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Mark 8:36. This is a powerful one for me. If we don't follow our own conscience, that angel on our shoulder, then we're doomed to do the pleasurable thing, but not necessarily the correct thing. Life is a series of decisions, one after another, after another, after another. It's a series of decisions. Jesus always has patience, even when we fall off the ladder. Worldly prizes don't mean anything in heaven. My purpose for writing this is to attempt to examine several important passages in the Bible, throwing most out, but keeping the most precious. Hold on to the precious ones dearly. And we'll stop there for now.